Hello, folks. I'm getting started today. I'm going to be drawing doing the coloring of the Cruz Kasich Trump cartoon that I drew yesterday, and then I'm going to start on a couple of more cartoons today. So let's get going with the Photoshop coloring. Please comment and follow, and nice to see you all here. So this is what I'm working with. I've still got windows open from yesterday. We can close these. I was struggling to draw Kasich yesterday. It was my first real drawing of Kasich. I've drawn him kind of small before, but this was a better Kasich today. Alright, now I just scanned this and dropped this in, so I'm going to need to clean it up before I get started on the coloring. So little bits will be changed. Signature's looking a little too big and awkward, so I'll put it over there. There. Okay. Hello, Comey. Nice to see you here. I love seeing these familiar names come back. It's like we have a little Watch Daryl Draw community, which is nice. So if you're new here, please be sure to follow. I just got to come in here and clean up little bits of crud. Little things I did wrong. Do I want these lines coming that far out of Cruz's jacket? That kind of little things. That looks like a piece of paper underneath. Well, it's not looking too bad. So, of course, the idea behind this cartoon is that Kasich and Cruz have announced that they're cooperating to try to bring down Trump. I was just watching the news this morning about Cruz choosing Carly Fiorina as his running mate. She is someone that I dislike even more than Cruz. Okay, let's go back to bitmap, and back to grayscale, and CMYK. Oops, I wanted to save it as a line first. Let's do that. Save, and then save as. I do too much forgetting that I need to save something as line for oddball projects like coloring books. let's make it CMYK. And add a bunch of layers. As many layers as I have room for in this window. That looks good. Now we'll bring this background up to the top. Oops, needs to unlock. And we will, let's select the black. Oh, is it already 100K? Let's take a look. I want it to be, nope. I want it to be 100K. 0, 0, 0, 100. We'll delete that black and fill it with 100K. That was not a fill. I don't know why Photoshop wants to resist filling things with black, but it does. It's very resistant. You have to demand that it do it over and over. At least with my version of Photoshop. My old CS4 here. Alright, that got it. Now that we'll select the inverse. And delete. It still looks like it hasn't filled in 100K yet, doesn't it? Let's select the inverse again. And fill with that 100K. It's a little darker. Don't know why it does this. It's terribly annoying. It's something cartoonists just need to do over and over. One of the standard things that you want Photoshop to do, and it just wants to fight you. Select, oh no, I didn't do that. Select all and fill on the back layer, so that should give us the white background. That's looking good. Now we'll make it image size 400K because it's too big a file to deal with otherwise. Top layer needs to multiply. Alright, I think I'm good. Now I can start coloring. Always save things as TIFF files because TIFF is a non-lossy file format, unlike JPEG, which will degrade your image quality. I've got my Flint, Michigan water today. This should be a good long day of Daryl streaming. This and the following cartoon. So, what do we want to do here? I can start with the parts I know what colors I want them to be, and then decide later. I'm basically going to have flesh tone on the three faces. And let's get this a little closer here. Flesh tone on, sorry about that loud microphone adjustment. So flesh tone on the three faces. There, that's better. Gray suits they wear. Donald's orange hair. Not much determinative of what the background should be. Let's try teal. It's been a long time since I've done something like teal. That'll be 50, 40. Teal. wrong with teal. Opacity can be about 25. All right, teal. Go with the Donald's hair being orange. That's enough teal. Nah, a little more down here. And let's give it some texture. A little bit of ground. Comey, you don't like the wrinkles under Donald's chin? He does have that, you know. Alright, let's give them some flesh tone next. That can go on layer 13. I need to label it because I'll forget what the flesh tone was. People a bit shea, or what did I do here? People are telling me that I need to make Donald more orange fleshy. 3, 22, 22. Could make him a little oranger. So when I lay down the flesh tones, I'm planning to come back with lighter and darker. So this is a middle tone. 3, 22, and 22, 0K. Do you need a separate monitor for my streaming, Okomi? So are you a cartoonist as well, working on the other monitor? I forget. We may have had this conversation before. Kasich is a goofy character. Struggled to draw him yesterday, but then I think I'm kind of pleased with the way that he turned out after the struggle. I think the key to Kasich is capturing that goofiness. Ah, Comey's coding software. All right, let's do a little bit of lighter. That'll be up here. Make that much lighter. 25 is probably good. Soften it up. Smaller. Let's come in and give him his forehead. He's got this very strong superciliary ridge. Eyebrow ridge. And Cruz over here. Trying hard to capture some news on a Donald Trump day. Cruz with his Carly Fiorina announcement. Carly Fiorina's terrible. Drove HP into the ground. Alright, let's go for darker flesh. That'll be here. And a little smaller brush for that. We'll get his under the chin. You know, actually I think I'll do this on another layer in case I don't like the darker. That's good. So we have lurkers today that are not saying anything. Okomi's the only one who talks. You lurkers. If you want me to sit here and talk to myself, you need to give me a little chat encouragement. Right. That's not a lot of detail going on in the flesh. You know, the detail in the flesh tones is something you need for high quality printing, and these are going in the newspaper. And I find that when I put even just this much tone into the flesh, that it gets exaggerated when it's printed in newspapers. So I have to be a little bit subtle, not go much more than that. All right, let's go with the Donald's color. Let's make him 3. $3, $25, $30. Makes him a little oranger. $33. Call that Donald Flesh. That can be 100% because that's his base tone. So let's draw in the Donald Trump base. That's too dark. Let's put him up just a little lighter. See how that looks. He's not really... Alright, let's take away... Well, no, let's... try that. Has him a little bit orangier. If you'd like to see past videos of live streams, go to darylcagle.com. I post them there with my cartoon archive. So you can go back and watch everything being done. Alright, let's go with the lighter Trump colors. Let's try some darker Trumpian colors. Actually, his eyes are kind of white around the eyes, like he was wearing the eye guards when he went in the spray tan booth. I haven't really been making him orange in the past. And people have been urging me to orange him up. Give that the layer for this. So I like to make people's eyes dark, but the Donald is different for having his eyes be lighter than the rest of him. Dab little bits because I've got pretty light transparency here. Okay, I'm gonna try making his eyes white. That's kind of funny. I think that's funny. Subtle. Funny, little bit subtle. Give him his holy whites of his eyes. Same with Cruz. Carly Fiorina, jeez. The guy's a monster. Alright. That's a funny Trump, isn't it? The Donald's looking Spanish on your TV screen? Well, Spanish, if he was going to look Spanish, nail makers, I think I would need to have a little bit of cyan in his flesh tone. And what I've got, 1% cyan. He's basically not got any brown going on. 1% is just going to keep it from being too terribly intense. It might even get lost. So I think your monitor is browning him up. I think he's just looking orange. Let's give Cruz a little color in the cheeks. So, nail makers, have you followed me? I need the follows. Klingon Warrior, nice to see you here. Ooh, that was 100%. Alright, there's a little bit of pink cheek there. Pink makes things look alive. You can do it subtly and people look subtly alive. I don't know if I want to give Donald any pink. Comey writes, what is that white in his face all the time? Solar bed? No, I think, I haven't read anything about it, but I think the Donald gets, spray tan. And I think that he's wearing, little things on his eyes when he gets a spray tan. That's my, my professional opinion. I think cartoonists should be treated like experts in such manners. That wasn't very good. Let's give that a little more yellow and some white. His hair is just gray, isn't it? I'm forgetting. Let's take a look. Trouble with these images is that so many of them are old and his hair is brown. Now I think it is looking like it's about 30% K. That's what I think of his hair looking like. This one over here in the lower left. So let's try that. Let's give him some how's that gray? 24-19-19. There's no telling what's going to happen with that. That could come out looking blue. So let's go with 0-0-0. It's safer to on something like this that you need to be sure is the right gray to just go with gray. A little lighter. And I think I'm gonna fill it in hard and come back and add a little little sponge texture in his hair. Let's do that. Let's give him some white at 100%. Not 100%. That's probably good. A little goofy looking. Let's try some of that. That's some Kasich-y looking hair, huh? Looks like it's got some crud going on. They're gonna darken up. You're right about Trump looking a little bit brown. I can give him a little touch of normalcy. Where's a normal point of flesh right there? Let's do that. I haven't tried making him orange before. Not quite sure how it plays. We can tone it down a little bit, 20%. Let's have a little bit of normalcy going on. That normalized him a little bit. Okay, let's give him some hair texture. I like to do his hair entirely with sponge texture. Give him a little bit of orange in spots. Everyone's so quiet. I think that kind of has him. It's about as orange as he needs to be. A little bit textural, a little bit orange. All right, Cruz can get. Let's put the suits down here. So Cruz. It's a good size, 100%. Give him the, oops. All right. So this is CMY gray, which sometimes comes out looking a little bit like whatever color is heavier in the printing that day. Usually comes out a little bluer than you expect, because blue is what heavies things up, but I've seen it come out more magenta and more yellow than I expect. It's a gamble, but when it works it looks nice, because the black lines on the K channel above the CMY look very nice and crispy with even the crummiest printing. The problem is predicting what your gray is going to be, but you put it in a suit, and a suit could be more brown, more blue. Who is to say what kind of gray his suit was? So you can get away with it in a suit, but you see, I didn't think I could get away with it in Kasich's hair. So I went with the K gray for Kasich's hair, because I didn't want it to turn out red or blue or have that kind of issue that I need to worry about. Okay, well, that doesn't look bad. Of course, here is where it wouldn't look bad. It's in the newspaper where it ends up being what you don't expect. Let's add a little bit more blue. That can be the Donald suit. So it's going to look a little bit different gray. Can't be quite sure what it's going to be, but we know it'll be a little more blue than Cruz. That's really all I need here. So much of coloring for print is kind of seeing how things have printed in the past and then guessing what the issues are going to be based on your past experience, because you can't really trust what you see on the monitor. The monitor is very forgiving. Come up with something that looks great on the monitor, and then you see it in print, and my God, it's muddy and it's all spread and filled. So, lots of experience with looking at my drawings in print and saying, oh my God, I better remember not to do that again. So this is the process of me remembering not to do that again. Even though it seems like it's invisible nonsense choice. So many people do things only for online now, they forget about print. It looks like I had a little error in placing my pieces together here. Okay, Kasich. He could have a brown suit. That would be kind of funny. Might draw too much attention. Well, he is kind of the gag. He's here at the right. Let's give him a brown suit. Oh, that's too dark. Funny, he's got the pinstripes. He's from Midwesterner from Ohio. I can see him wearing a brown suit. Although I have never seen him wearing a brown suit, it would seem to be his personality to wear a brown suit. You folks are all being silent today. This one's going to color up pretty fast, and I'm going to start on the next ones. I'm going to do a break after I finish this one, send it out to the newspapers. I've learned that when I do shoes on business suits, that they look disconnected and like there's something wrong if I haven't done them in a base color that matches the business suit. And that draws attention to the feet, which is not something that I want to do. So I have learned to do the shoes in the same color and just add a little bit more shade to them. Okomi writes, stream your service sucks. Yeah, I'm watching on my laptop over here at the right. It looks like I'm not getting any problem with the stream here. Something between you and Twitch, I think. Is too much for that. just giving a little hint of shade so that I can give him some three-dimensionality. You having trouble with your stream, Makomi? You're in Argentina. Alright. I think you've just got lousy internet in Argentina. Sorry about that. Yeah, let's move that down a little bit. Now I'm going to have to do his shoes this way. This is the only way to make his shoes look like they're not quite part of the suit, but not draw too much attention to the shoes. If I didn't do them that way, it would look awful. Really just awful. Like clown shoes. Something else I learned the wrong way when it looked fine on the screen. Alright, let's give the Donald some darkness. Darkness. Now, see, if I was painting this with a brush, I'd have this nice dark gray, and I'd say, oh, I'll add a few little details to his hair. But I cannot do that because this is a CMY gray, and his hair is a K gray, and it would look crappy. Hey, it looks like Argentina settled its debt problems. You guys could be all set to rejoin the financial world, huh? That's what Argentina needs. Borrow more money. Cruz. I have to make this gray come off of whatever gray he's got. Looks like Cruz is the only one who has a tie of any color significance in this image. I think I can give him a green tie and have that not draw much attention. Let's do that. That's too bright. Let's give him a green tie as well. What the hell? That doesn't, well, maybe a little bit of blue spots there. Good enough. Not a lot of interesting color going on here, but maybe it doesn't need interesting color. So is that all we need here? Kasich's business here. Gonna get a stripe in his forehead that needs a fix. Let's give him just a little bit of fix there. Okay, I think the color here is kind of subtle and on the light side. Let's save. Gonna save as a JPEG. And this will be 1116 Trump collusion 400 DPI JPEG. Let's make that 10. See what size it turned out to be. This is another process Photoshop could make easier. 3 megabytes, that's okay. I need for it to be less than 3.5, but close to 3.5, so that'll be good. Now, let's save as grayscale. And let's see what this puppy looks like in grayscale. What always happens is that in grayscale the flesh tones are too dark. So what I'll do here is just come back over the flesh tones. Let's do that. Hey, the Phoebe! Nice to see you back. Thank you so much for the hosting yesterday. So, Phoebe, today I'm going to draw Hillary trying to nail Bernie Sanders into his coffin, and Trump trying to nail Cruz and Kasich into the coffin. Right now I'm making the color version into the black and white, and always when I switch to grayscale, the flesh tones are just too dark for a black and white version. But I think it usually doesn't take too much fiddling with to make it right. Well, I'm also independent because I have had some trouble in the past with being registered with a party. If there's ever a press issue with one of my cartoons, they look up who I'm registered with, and then they attribute my opinion to having some kind of loyalty to the party that I'm signed up with. So I find that it is better for me to be independent. Phoebe, what state are you in? Okay, I think this, well, I'm going to add a little bit of texture. It's black and white, it can stand some texture. Let's do that. Let's make this, 25%. I'll put the texture there. See what we can do with that. Texture, soft edges. Pennsylvania. Oh, you just now voted. Both Pennsylvania and Maryland. Well, I'm in California, where we're used to our presidential votes not making any difference. And I'm registered independent, which means I can vote in the Democratic primary. I think I'm going to vote for Bernie. The Republican primary here is closed. You have to be registered a Republican. And I could re-register as a Republican, but in the past that has caused me trouble. So I will not do so. Maybe put in a little bit of dark as well. Well, Pennsylvania seems to be pretty darn backwards with their presidential primary. Like all the bad things about the parties you can see in Pennsylvania. Vote for delegates you don't know. Don't bind the delegates to the vote, so the vote's a beauty contest. Terrible. Party bosses. Alright, I think this is good enough. You could have a little more of the dirt, huh? You can go with more texture in black and white, but you have to lighten up parts that get too dark. And this one, the flesh tone, is going to look a good deal darker anyway. Oh, I didn't get Cruz's hair black, did I? Let's do that. Let's go with, there's a dark gray. I probably need to go back to the other one and fix his hair because I didn't put any hair color in it. you notice these things at the end. I need a checklist like an airplane pilot. Okay, let's go back to, let's save this. Let's save with no layers as a TIFF. That'll be 1116B. And let's take another look. See what size it ended up. Would be a nice thing to tell me in the save box. Photoshop. That's 2.4 megs. That's okay. That came out fine. So let's go back to my other one here. And I need to do Cruz's hair. He could have a little bit of eye color as well, huh? All right. Save that, and we'll save this one again. Oops, there was another error. Trump's color. All right. Now let's save. Save as. This should be 1116 dash. It's a JPEG. Save. Replace. Okay. Good. All right. So this one is done. What's going to happen now is I'm going to upload this and send it out to the newspapers, and then I'm going to come back and start the next cartoon. So I won't be gone for long, but that will be the end of this this cartoon for today. So hey, keep your eye out for me, probably again within the hour or half an hour, and I will be back with live streaming the next cartoon. Thank you for joining me. You folks are lovely. Thank you again, Phoebe. I'm a Phoebe fan, and I will see everyone later. Thank you so much. And that marks the end of our recording, so we'll go for the 2 claps. And